This is 8 News Now, live, local, now.
Good evening. Police say 8th graders at a Las Vegas private school are seen on video committing a brutal sexual assault against another student. And it's a very disturbing story. This is 8 News Now at 6. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. Now, we want to warn you, this is a story which is very sensitive and graphic. 8 News Now investigator Vanessa Murphy piecing it all together.
Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Vaughn Griffith, one of 4 8th graders who Metro Police say took part in the graphic and violent sexual assault of another student. The boys were on a field trip to Costa Rica last April through the Alexander Dawson School, a Las Vegas private school where tuition costs more than $30,000.
Sir, what's your true full name?
Vaughn Kendall Griffith.
Griffith, just 15, now charged as an adult for possession of visual presentation depicting sexual conduct of a child. A judge moving him from the juvenile system, calling the crime heinous and egregious and pointing to the safety of the community, while also acknowledging Griffith's upbringing and background as a class president and golf champ. The video is so graphic, the court sealed it. But police described the attack in this arrest report we obtained for more than 2 minutes. The victim screaming and crying as the boys laughed at him, threatened him, and assaulted him. Police say Griffith recorded the video and kept it in his Snapchat account. His defense attorney points to a disparate treatment between how he's treated compared to the other boys, while the Clark County District Attorney's Office is not responding to our inquiry about whether they face charges. Attorneys for the victim say they are confident the system will render justice for him. We also reached out to the Alexander Dawson School, which said in a statement, in part, the school was made aware of serious allegations regarding male middle school students while in their hotel rooms during a class field trip. They take such allegations incredibly seriously and promptly reported them to law enforcement. Police say the victim's mother told the principal, who called police last May. Then in January, a grand jury indicted Griffith. We have not named the other teens believed to be involved because it appears they are not charged in adult court. Griffith pleaded not guilty and is expected back in court in June. Records show he is no longer in custody, but he has many restrictions after a family member posted $20,000 bail. Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
Now, those boys would be high school freshmen by now. The Clark County School District would not confirm whether Griffith and another student are still enrolled within the district, but they did confirm 2 of them are not.
So 4 8th grade boys from a private school in Las Vegas SA'd another student, and only one of them is being charged. So in April of 2025, multiple students from Alexander Dawson, a private school in Las Vegas, took a trip to Costa Rica. They were there for an entire week, and during that time, 4 boys that were around the age of 14 SA'd another student by walking into his room, pulling off his clothes, and putting them on the balcony. They ended up recording it, and the person who recorded it is 15-year-old Vaughn Griffith. He is the only one being charged in this case because he had the video footage on his Snapchat saved. Now, the video footage is so graphic that it was sealed. I am sure it was also sealed because of the age of the boys, but they are on video actually even admitting that it was SA. They used a flute on him. You can hear him screaming, crying, all of that in the video. Vaughn is even heard on camera telling the boy, if you tell anybody, I will cut off your private parts. So he was very hesitant to tell anybody, but he did eventually speak out about the behavior that should have never happened, especially while they were on a trip out of the country. Now, when the investigation started, Vaughn was actually taken into custody in July of last year, and then October of last year, he actually was bonded out by a family member with a $20,000 bond amount. Now, in October as well, they did go ahead and decide to try him as an adult, which is why we know his name in the first place, because the decision was made that he needed to be tried as an adult. Now, they did go ahead and charge him with possession of visual presentation depicting acts on a child. So he was charged with 1 count, and because the actual act took place in Costa Rica, we are really not sure if they are going to be trying them as for the actual SA that took place. And right now, to me, that seems like justice is not being provided for this victim. Now, when they did let him out on bond, they did give him a lengthy list of things that he can and cannot do, and on that list is, of course, stay your butt out of trouble. But he has a high level of electronic monitoring. He can only use the internet for school purposes. He cannot use it for any other reason, and he cannot be around minors besides his siblings at any other time, and he absolutely positively must have no contact with the actual victim. Now, on paper, videographer Vaughn was class president and an elite golfer. Now, the victim actually states that before they actually went to Costa Rica, he had experienced some bullying from them prior to. And this $32,000 price tag, very questionable. Now, they did go ahead and indict him on January the 15th, and he put his not guilty plea on file, and his next court date is going to be June 23rd. Because the actual SA happened in Costa Rica, we have no actual information on whether they are going to proceed forward with SA charges, and because so many of the people involved are minors, we may not actually know until they start talking, but I'm gonna have to keep an eye on Vaughn, because this right here, questionable behavior.
All right, let me first start off by saying I don't normally show minors, but I am in this case. First, because he is in the adult court system. Second, because this crime he allegedly committed is beyond disturbing. And third, news outlets are showing his face. So I am. So don't come after me. This is absolutely horrific, and I'm going to go ahead and give a big trigger warning. This is one of the worst cases I've ever heard. So a group of 8th graders at a school, a private school in Las Vegas, Nevada, is accused of sexually assaulting another student on a school field trip, and the attack was recorded. According to reports, this happened during an Alexander Dawson school field trip to Costa Rica back last year, 2025, in April. Reportedly, the teen who recorded the video is pictured here, and his name is Vaughn Griffith, and as I said, he is being charged in adult court. He has recently been indicted by a grand jury for possession of a visual presentation depicting sexual conduct of a child. Reportedly, Vaughn here was a golf champion, and he was also the class president. He had a bright future. Unbelievable to ruin it the way he did. Police reportedly identified 4 other teens seen in these videos, and Vaughn here was the one recording the assault. The other teens need to be named too and charged as well, but I have yet to find any info on them. According to reports, the assault included the use of a flute and other items, and in the video, the victim is heard screaming and crying in pain. Absolutely unreal. In a video that is 6 seconds long, the victim is seen lying on a bed with his head lifted, and his face is just showing complete fear. One of the boys said, "Hey, hold him over." Then one of the other boys reached over the victim to turn his body over. The camera angle then reportedly goes back over to Vaughn here, and then the boys started to laugh. Then there's another alleged video that is said to be 2 minutes long that shows more horrible assault. The victim yelled out in pain as he was punched, and throughout the video, the boys are heard laughing, and the victim, bless his heart, is trying his best to get them to stop attacking him. It was said one of the boys encouraged the victim to fight back, and then Vaughn here allegedly told the boy if he did fight back, they would cut his private part off. Finally, the victim was able to get free, and then the boys continue to laugh and just say, "Ew." Some of the last words heard in the video is one boy saying, "It's clearly sexual," and then another boy goes, "Assault." Yeah, that's exactly what it was. The camera then turns over to Vaughn again as he was recording it all. According to reports during a grand jury proceeding, a detective testified that the kids were on a field trip that was paid for to Costa Rica that students at Alexander Dawson Middle School could go on. They reportedly participated in several activities from April 3rd to April 11th. The victim identified 3 other boys seen in the video other than Vaughn, and then the poor victim, of course, but as I said, I can't find the names of the other boys or what they're being charged with or anything like that. Unless they were charged in adult court, I wouldn't mention their names. But I will say this, they better be getting in as much trouble as Vaughn here. According to reports, on May 17th of last year, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department started to investigate the incident, which allegedly took place on either April 8th or 9th. The principal of Alexander Dawson told police that multiple students were brought in for questioning on May 16th. This was after a report of a video of multiple students spanking each other on the field trip. The mom of the victim then reportedly contacted the principal that night to report that her son was a victim of sexual assault, so the principal then contacted the authorities. It was said to begin with, the victim didn't report what happened to him because he didn't want the other boys to get in trouble. It was said that on April 5th, while on the field trip, a group of boys went to the victim's room and they began to undress him, and they threw his clothes out on the balcony. He said he ended up hiding in the bathroom and later got his clothes. Then 2 days later, when a group of kids were all hanging out in one of the hotel rooms, the victim said they pinned him down and they pulled down his pants and his underwear, and that's when they started to sexually assault him. Furthermore, the victim said these boys bullied him many other times in the past. Unreal. Reportedly, these students are now freshmen in high school. The Clark County School District would not confirm nor deny that Vaughn and one of the other students were students in their school district, but they said 2 of the suspects are not enrolled there. As I said, I'm not sure what the other boys are facing the charges, but they better damn sure be strict. According to reports, Vaughn's attorney told news outlets that they are concerned he is getting treatment than the other boys, but that they are looking forward to defending him in his case. Back on July 29th of last year, Vaughn here went to the Clark County Detention Center. On October 7th, a judge issued an order that his case should be handled in the adult court system, and I totally agree with that. She made it clear that he filmed the sexual assault and then made the video and then saved it in Snapchat. The judge further noted that his background does not outweigh how serious his offenses were. It was said, yes, he had a supportive family. He attended a private school. He had a high GPA. He was a golfing star. He was a class president, but in my opinion, he ruined all that. The judge further said that him just going to a juvenile detention center for a short period of time wouldn't be right in this case, and I totally agree. She said this was for the safety of their community to transfer his case to the adult system. According to reports, Vaughn appeared in court yesterday morning on Thursday, January 29th, where he pleaded not guilty. A hearing for him is now scheduled for June 23rd. A family member posted a $20,000 bail for him back on October 10th. His bond conditions include electronic monitoring, no internet use except for school, staying away from minors other than a sibling, not contacting the victim, giving up his passport, and staying out of trouble. Y'all, I have never in my life. These are the type of kids that will do horrible things in the future if they think things like this are funny, especially if they don't have strict consequences and punishment. I pray justice is served to the absolute fullest in this case. And yes, the other boys who assaulted the victim, they absolutely deserve strict punishment too.
So, in Las Vegas, around April 2025, 4 eighth graders from Alexander Dawson Middle School went on a field trip to Costa Rica. And during that field trip, between April 8th or April 9th, four boys essayed another classmate who was on the field trip with them. So Vaughn Griffith, a 15-year-old, is being charged as an adult in this situation because he recorded the video. So the first video he recorded was 6 minutes long, where they were taunting the boy, pulling off his clothes, and all that stuff. And then another one was a 2-minute video where the boys brutally beat him, punched him, essayed him with a flute, and it was just really brutal, the courts say. And as the victim was screaming and crying and trying to tell them to stop, the boys were laughing at him. One boy said he turned him over, turn him over. So they turned him over, I'm guessing onto his stomach. So the video shows the victim in a lot of pain. The victim's face, not the victim, Vaughn's face is shown in the video more than once. So the boys were laughing at him. One of the boys was heard in the video telling the victim to fight back, to fight back. And another boy is heard in the video saying, if he fights back, I'm going to cut off his pee-pees. Okay? The other three boys, somebody asked, will the other three boys, other than Vaughn, will be facing charges? The police had no response to see if these boys would be facing charges. So Vaughn was picked up on July 29th and took it to, I forgot what county jail, I forgot to write it down. And so the judge, Linda Marquise, on October 7th, ordered that Vaughn's case should be tried as an adult. Vaughn was the only one who filmed the essay, created the video, and put it on his Snapchat. On May 17, 2025, the Las Vegas police investigated the essay that happened on April 8th or 9th. Several students from the school were brought in for questioning. The victim did not contact the police because he did not want the other boys to get in trouble. So he told his mother, and his mother contacted the principal, and the principal contacted the police. So on April 5th, the victim reported that the four boys went into his hotel room and threw his clothes on the balcony. He said that he ran into the bathroom naked, and when the boys left, he went to retrieve his clothes. 2 days later, at Hotel Manuel Antonio, where they were staying, the four boys and the victim were in the victim's hotel room. The victim stated that the four boys pinned him down, pulled down his underwear and pants, and essayed him with the flute. So, one of Vaughn's family members bailed him out on $20,000 bail, and he got a high-level electronic monitoring, no internet, only for school purposes, staying away from minors, staying away from the victim, surrendering his passport, staying out of trouble. They sealed the video because it was evidence, and this is a minor's case.
Look at this little monster. This is Vaughn Griffith, one of 4 8th graders, being accused of being involved in the graphic and violent assault of another student. The kids went on a field trip last April with the Alexander Dawson School, which is a private school in Summerlin, Nevada. I'm hearing it's like $30,000 a year. The trip was in Costa Rica. Griffith is now 15 and he's being charged as an adult. Charges possession of visual presentation depicting sexual conduct of a child. The judge moved him from the juvenile system to adult because of how heinous and horrible the crime was, and was worried about the safety of the community. He is a class president and golf champion at this prestigious private school. They say the video is so graphic that the court sealed it. I know they're also children too, so. For over 2 minutes, the victim was screaming and crying in the video. The boys were laughing at him as he's screaming and crying. I'm not going to get into the horrific details. Just know that they sexually assaulted this boy with a flute and then threatened to chop his off. They were threatening him and sexually assaulting him and just kept laughing and recording. Authorities are saying that Griffith kept the video and put it in his Snapchat account. The other 3 students have not been charged with anything as of yet. They need to be charged as adults as well immediately. The victim's mother told the principal, and the school called the police. The attack took place in a hotel room that they were staying in on their trip. Now it's January 2026 and Griffith's been indicted by a grand jury. We don't know the names of the other teenage attackers, because they're not being charged as adults. And from what I've looked up, they haven't been charged at all. So that needs to happen immediately. Griffith pleaded not guilty. He's expected back in court in June. Records are showing that he's no longer in custody, that he posted a $20,000 bail, and he has a lot of restrictions while he's out. This is just sad and disgusting and just horrible and horrific. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I hope that the victim is getting the help and love that they need after being attacked by your classmates like that. Just awful.
In Las Vegas, Nevada, a 15-year-old has been charged with recording the S&A of another 8th grade student. And 4 other 8th graders have been charged with committing the S&A. This happened on a school field trip to Costa Rica. According to prosecutors, Vaughn Griffith's face can be seen in the video that he recorded on his phone. This is a 2-minute and 16-second video in which he was flipping the camera to face him and get his face in the picture, and then flipping it back to the act that was occurring. According to reports, when the camera is turned back around to face the event that's happening, you can see the graphic and violent S&A of a 14-year-old student. It's unclear what the charges will be for the other boys involved in the incident at this time. But Vaughn, who is a golf champion and the class president, is being charged as an adult. And currently his charge is 1 felony count of possessing that video on his phone. Vaughn's attorneys are expressing that they are frustrated that the other boys in the video have not been charged at this time. This case is developing and we'll be following along to see what happens next.